We're going to be there a little bit early, just so that it's kind of sped up.
Is that good?
Yep, I'm going to try to watch it from my phone. Make sure it's on. So people are already asking me questions on there, and I'm going to turn off. Yes, that is going to be something I'll have to see. You have to be quiet. Casey, try not to yell at me. You see how they're asking me
Oh, is this thing on?
It's
All right. Six o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We're 4 minutes early. How's it going, everybody? This last weekend was Pondfest 2. Kind of Pondfest 1, Pondfest 2. I don't know. Last year was the S&M 35 year anniversary party. Kind of dubbed Pondfest. This year was officially Pondfest. So kind of the first one. I don't know. Second one. 1.5. All right, let's get into some questions here. Hope you're doing well, Moeller. Clunker, thank you. I am. I'm doing well. Starting to feel a little bit more normal after the weekend. I was fried. I completely fried myself leading up to Pondfest. And by Sunday afternoon, I was shot. But then Mikey rolled in, rode through the big line, and kind of cheered me up. And but I'm feeling better today. Still waiting on that Etsy S&M shield ring. That, I should have talked to REA and Trina about that this weekend because they were here. Trusty book is still here. Just like last time we did this shield ring. I'm on that. REA, if you're out there, Trina, let's talk about these rings. Will the regular style flat bill hats come back? That's Andy Chavez, Pack Crew. Yeah, they should. I don't think we have any hats, right? Well, we have Pondfest hats. That's it. We don't have any other hats. So we need hats. It's on the list. I can't believe I'm the same age as the S&M Bike Company. Well, you're not alone on that one. Dougie Fresh is also 36 years old. I can't believe S&M is 36 years old. That's a shocker. Hoder and Hucker are both 36. Wow, that's wild. Will there be an S&M and Fit DVD box set? It's not a bad idea. Have you ever smoked crack? That is a no. Negative. Although I have seen people do it, and it's not pretty. Thanks for signing my book, All Out Bikes. You are welcome. Can I have a sponsor? Probably not right now. A lot of riders to take care of. Not a lot of resources to take care of them at this point. Right when family movie night is starting, gotta bail. So just gonna say thank you. Love my BTM frames. Thank you for having a BTM frame, and good luck with your movie night. Curious what you're watching tonight. Let's see. Don't tell me it's Barbie. Any chance of the War Pig making a comeback? That could happen. I don't know if you saw the photos of Troy McMurray riding his beautiful bride on his War Pig last weekend at his wedding, but the War Pig seems to be making a comeback all on its own. And Kareem is with Hoder right now. Well, what's up, Kareem, and what's up, Hoder? Is the average BMX rider a nihilist? That's a crazy question. Somebody creeping over here on me. Jerry, if you're just going to creep in, just creep in. Just creep in, say hi. You know, go back to what you were doing before. Oh, no, she's just going to hover over here. How sick is Hoder? Hoder is pretty sick. Seattle represent, for sure. It seems to be a really good scene in Seattle right now with all the guys, with John and with all the boys up there. Colton, they seem to have a good thing going on in Seattle. Will you offer custom geometry S&M frames again? Well, we keep getting asked about that. I talked about that last time we did this live. It was really just a cost issue, but it is something we're talking about. Just a matter of how much people are willing to pay for it. But yeah, I'm going to work on that. What has kept S&M so much more successful than other American-made companies over the years? Well, we've avoided the 3Ds, the dreaded 3Ds, the death, the drugs, and the divorce. So that's part of it. And we have a lot of loyal customers out there helping keep us in business. So that's probably the other major factor, as well as the stuff's always been really good. I mean, American made didn't always mean really good. There were some pretty crazy products that were American made back in the day. Not S&M. We try not to make crazy products, just crazy good products. Never got rid of my War Pig, but down to put it on the wall and get a new one. Okay, well, was another vote for the War Pig. Jerry marked down War Pig. No, two for War Pig. My assistant. Spec on the new Hallahan frame. That's a big question. When I posted on Instagram that we're doing this, I got a few of those questions already. That remains to be seen. Both Nate and Luke were riding their prototype frames at Pondfest, if anybody noticed that. I think Nate was talking about maybe tweaking his back end length a tiny bit. I didn't really get a chance to talk to Lucas too much about his. There might be some tiny tweaks happening to those frames, but one thing that I know for sure is that the head tubes are good. The dropouts are good. So those parts are actually being made as we speak. Now, as far as the final geometry and lengths, that they're still dialing those in a tiny bit, but should be happening pretty soon. When are 20-inch ATF frames going to be in stock? That's a great question. I don't have an answer for that, but I'm sure Jason Ball will. Maybe we can touch on that in next week's Factory Friday. What is your opinion on psychedelics? Maybe tiny amount might be okay. I've seen them fry some good friends of mine beyond repair. They're never coming back. They're gone. So maybe tiny amount. Me, zero. But you, tiny amount. I don't know, but I wouldn't go crazy with it. Someone just asked a question about custom frames. Yep, the same. So we already touched on that. Ever been to Michigan? Been to Michigan lots and lots and lots of times over the years. Waterford Oaks, BMX tracks, one spot. Lots of trips to Michigan, Detroit. Yes, love Michigan. Did you see my Tech Tuesday? I did not. Adam Climbs. I'm not familiar with Tech Tuesday. Jerry, can you write down Tech Tuesday? But check that out. I'm assuming that's a YouTube thing or something. How about a complete race bike? Even if it had to be a fit. Generally speaking, all of our complete bikes are fits. Just because we didn't really want to have an imported S&M bike. We did make a Matt Behringer 16-inch one time, and be a fit complete race bike. We got a lot of fit complete bikes right now that we're still trying to move. So complete bikes are a little weird for everybody right now. Jared Rofflick, and now is this Jared Rofflick of Dayton, Ohio? I'm pretty sure it is. Oh no, it's not Jared Rofflick. It's Michael Pickard talking about Jared Rofflick. Tell us a good story about Jared Rofflick. Oh, geez, I can't remember that long ago. I lived there in Dayton, Ohio for a while. So I rode with Jared, and so he's a good dude. I know that. I don't really have any crazy stories. I'm not sure there are any crazy stories about Jared Rofflick. That might be hard to come up with. He's a pretty good dude on straight and narrow. Who is the most hated, well-known person in the industry? Me, possibly? I don't know. Love or hate? It's love-hate. Polarizing kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe that's me. S&M Jam at Woodward West. What are the chances? Well, we worked on that a few years ago, and there was some reason why that wasn't going to happen. I can't remember what it was. We wanted that to happen, but there is a reason why that can't happen. I don't know, some corporate thing with the new ownership of Woodward West. I'm not sure what the details are, but the old school jam basically felt like an S&M jam to me, to be honest. But that's even canceled this year, so I don't know what's happening there. But those trails are fun, and I'd love to do that. Love you, Maddog. Thank you. See, not everybody hates the Maddog. Some people love the Maddog. I race an S&M Doyle frame. I couldn't afford a trail frame and a race frame. Well, it's one thing about S&M frames. We've almost always had a frame that you could race and you could ride on the trails, even on street, whether it's Challenger or, the original Maddog frame, or CCR frame's another good example. It's rear drop. It's light, strong. It rides really good. I think the geometry is good for race. You could do anything on it. Will S&M venture into making MTB parts? Well, we have been talking about that quite a bit lately. Just basically a 26-inch dirt jumper style frame, like the black market frame that we used to make years ago. We are working on something like that. It kind of brings me to another question that got asked a few times on my Instagram and through DMs too. Is what? Oh, there's my assistant, my personal assistant. Thank you, Jerry. Now fold your clothes, Jerry. Come on. Yeah, people were asking me on the Instagram what was with my little note about disc brakes and micro knobby tires. Well, I'll get into that real quick. Basically, by the end of the weekend, the pond jumps down here, I could see them just like disintegrating in front of my eyes. It's really dry. It's sandy here. You got to water constantly, and you get I think we have between 150 and 200 riders over the course of the weekend, and you get that many people out there, that many tires on that many people slicing off the side, running around, running on top of the berms. I don't know who you guys are running around on top of the berms, but you just can't be doing that. And it seemed like at the end of the line, all three lines kind of converge. It seemed like the guys on the 26 dirt jumpers with the disc brake and the knobby tire, they jump on that brake and just blow the whole thing up. And then pretty soon it just turned into a sand section. So no hate here on the 26-inch dirt jump bikes. The guys were ripping. A lot of my good friends ride those bikes, and we're all riding really, really well. It's just the 3 lines, the way I designed it, I have the 3 lines converging into one, and people have to slow down. Now, the guys that are brakeless, obviously they're not going to, they got to just, get out of people's way, but, or just avoid hitting one another. But those big bikes, the knobbies and the discs, they're going to tore it up. So I don't know. When I posted that, maybe I was still I was having a hard time with just the amount of work that looked like it was, going to take to fix all this stuff up. But I don't know. I think for the most part, people did a really good job on the big bikes with the brakes and the knobbies and not, blowing the place up. I mean, if you look at YouTube, you get this, I don't know what it is with the mountain bike thing. I guess it's mainly full suspension, come down the mountain and the forest or whatever. But I mean, guys are like hate the spot, like really want to destroy the spot with the kick out and the burn off and just trying to throw the dirt around for the slow motion, video clip for the next, red camera video clip for the mountain bike video. I don't know what the deal is with the trying to blow the spot up and landing sideways, dirt flying everywhere, going through the berm, and it's not enough to go through the berm. You got to kick out in the berm, blow the berm up. I asked a few people about this, like, why did the mountain bike guys want to ruin their spots so bad? And they clearly must not be the ones building them because they're just trying to ruin them. I think it's a motocross thing. I think if the guys on the dirt bikes, doing the same thing. So then the mountain bike's kind of like the dirt bike. They're trying to get it sideways and land sideways and throw dirt everywhere. But here's the thing about the motocross. These guys don't want the track packed. They want it as loose as possible. So every time the track starts to get a little bit packed, they get the dozer out, they get the big ripper out in the back, and they grind up the whole track again. They want it to be completely loamy, totally loose and soft. They're not trying to make it packed. So it is BMX, but it's not really motocross. We need the trails and the track to be packed. We can't have it, loamy. You can't ride through it. So I don't know. I don't want to become the, trail Nazi, because really for 35, 40 years, I've been going to people's spots and wrecking them myself. And then I don't really fix them. I just leave, but then I give you a bike for free, or I give you a bunch of parts for free. And that's kind of the deal I've always had. But you got to be, if you're going to show up, slice the side of the landing off with your under rotated 360 or over rotated 360, or you're going to blow the berm out or just wreck it the way I've always wrecked people's spots. You got to come up, you got to give them something. You got to work a bunch or give them some bike parts or do something. So I don't know. That's my rant. That's the end of my trail Nazi rant. Now that I have my own spot and everyone leaves and I got to fix it. But I think for the most part, you go to someone's spot, everyone loves to whip it out, in the air, but it's not concrete. It's not wood. So you got to pull it back before you land. If you whip it out and you just slice everything off, I mean, looks super cool, but I don't know. That's my rant. So that was all mountain bike related somehow. Never, ever, ever, ever let S&M be made overseas. That is what FIT is for, like GT and Dyno used to be. It's a weird comparison, GT and Dyno. When I was around GT as a kid, and Dyno, the roots of Dyno were soft goods and apparel. So Bob Morales, different Morales, but Bob Morales, one of the founding fathers of Freestyle, started Dyno as an apparel business, and then he sold it to GT, and they used it really as a brand just to make really, really cheap bikes. I mean, the Dyno VFR was like $100, but so odd comparison, because FIT has had really good American-made stuff since the beginning too. But yeah, FIT's thing has the complete imported bike has always been a FIT thing. I don't see that changing anytime soon. Is the Buick Roadmaster a good car? No, that was the station wagon. I thought those things were sick. They were huge. So I would say yes, Buick Roadmaster for sure. I think I even drove in a Buick Roadmaster from Connecticut to Florida at one point in the back, and it was dialed. It's a good car, yes. You must fix your own case marks. See, I totally agree with you on this. I only have, no one rides in this town except me, but there's 2 kids that ride dirt jumper bikes, and they came down to help me one day. They show up, These kids show up with a full face helmet on and gloves on. They don't really want to help. They just want to ride. So if I have to say, oh, you got to take off the helmet, you got to take off the gloves. We're going to be working for a while. Then after about an hour of watering or whatever, you can tell they're spent. They're over it. An hour is about it. Then they want to ride. So then they ride, but then they got to go because the street lights are coming on, or I don't know, whatever. They got to go. So yeah, they hack a bunch of stuff up, and then they just bounce. That's it. They're out. Unbelievable. I don't know. I saw both those kids, by the way, at the jam. And if you're watching this, sorry, but I told them both to owe me some time, and I'm gonna make them work for sure. A Buick Roadmaster fits 2 full bikes in the trunk. Oh, so the Roadmaster must not be the station wagon. I don't know what the hell the Roadmaster is, but whatever. It's a Buick. I mean, no one drives the Buick nowadays, right? Unless you're 80 or Tiger Woods. I think Tiger Woods drives the Buick, but that's about it. So maybe Buick Roadmaster is not a good car. If it's the station wagon, it's good. If it's not, I wouldn't drive it. How many frame stand dirt bikes were made? It's a good question. Probably 200 would be, maybe less, actually. It wasn't engineered all that well. It was basically a dirt bike that we put some standers on. But it's pretty rare. I don't see a lot of those around. What does Sean Butler do now? He's a legend. That's a good question. I think last I heard he was in Louisiana or something like that. And we're working with his tire business. But I know he rides. I think he was still riding. Goes out to Midge's spot, the ranch or whatever it's called. I think he rides there. So, I mean, Butler's one of those guys. He could get on a bike tomorrow and just kill it. What is the S&M connection to Dee Schneider? Well, if you don't know, Dee Schneider was the singer in Twisted Sister, and they did the "We're Not Going to Take It," and he was in the Pee Wee Herman movie. I mean, he was a huge rock star in the 80s. He also rode BMX, and we got hooked up with him back in the day because he was in Cape Coral, Florida, and he was riding the track, and he came into a local shop called IC Bikes, and Ian was the guy that owned IC Bikes, and he was looking for a new bike. I think he was riding a Cyclecraft Cruiser. So anyway, Ian called us, and we said, yeah, we love that guy, and we gave him a bike, and then we ended up making him a signature bike, the Widowmaker, and then he came out to California for a big concert tour and some trade show, and I went and picked him up at the hotel and spent the whole day with them, and he was a cool ass dude. And then we went to the concert, and he had S&M stickers on the mic stand. It was a whole deal. It was super cool. But we actually did try and get a hold of him a few years back when we were making the book, and could not get a hold of the guy. But he's still super busy. If you follow him, he does horror movies. He just wrote a novel. He also, he was the creator of Headbangers Ball, although he never hosted it. I think Ricky Rackman took his job before he even started it. But anyway, Dee Schneider, badass dude, super fitness freak, family man, not your typical rock star, not an a-hole, not a drug addict, not a degenerate alcoholic, just a badass dude. Love him. But I don't talk to him, unfortunately. Would love to have come, but I need much more lead time to plan. It's a 24-hour drive. Pondfest, yeah. Well, we had a lot of people there, a lot more people than last year, and I thought it went really good. It was super fun. Some people mentioned I sounded a little strict in some of my posts, but I mean, to be honest, it's like, we have kids now. We have a neighbor across the river with a rental house. We have a rancher guy next door with his cows out there, and his house isn't that far away. So just not trying to make it, Swamp Fest. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love all kinds of mayhem too, and I'm usually right in the middle of it, but this is just a different event. I mean, if I'm a hypocrite, yeah, oh well. But I mean, if anyone ever told me, hey Chris, like when I went to Swamp Fest, and I think I got myself in trouble because I burned the ramps down and all that, if someone would have said to me, hey Chris, this is like a family event, we're trying to ride, we're trying to have a good time, We're not trying to throw propane into the fire, or bullets into the fire, or, maim or disfigure anybody. I'm fine with that. I mean, I see, logos with like skulls and burning skeletons coming out of fire and stuff with, chemtrails. I just think we're blowing stuff up. So I don't know. I just need to be told. And so on that, same train of thought, I'm just telling people like, hey, this isn't Swamp Fest. We're not trying to, blow anything up really. We're just trying to ride the spot. That being said, I mean, it was really mellow. Nobody got crazy. I mean, I think one person overserved themselves quite a bit and, slept in the dirt for a while, but that was about it. Would you consider filing down your teeth to look like fangs the way Dee Schneider did? I would not consider that. And to be honest, after spending a day with Dee Schneider, I don't think he filed his teeth down. I bet he probably had fake little caps he put on there. There's no way he filed his teeth down. I could be wrong, but Swamp Fest tries too hard. I don't think Swamp Fest is trying too hard. I think just Swamp Fest has created their own little vibe, and their vibe is attracting a lot of different types of people. I know we got skateboarders, they've got people that don't ride or skate. It's like you got guys down there in souped up lawnmowers. I don't know. It's wild, man. It's like the Burning Man of action sports events. It's like, it's freaky to me. I would be afraid somebody would jump off the castle or whatever and snap their neck. But I think people tell me Trey loves this stuff. Like he's as crazy with that stuff as they are, which that's not the impression I ever got from Trey. I feel like he was stressed about any kind of chaos, but that's not what I've been told. So, hey, Swamp Fest is rad. That's not Pondfest. A swamp, it's murky. There's like dangerous stuff in there, right? There's a lot of creatures and, it's dangerous. A pond? I mean, it's a pond. You just float around in there. It's relaxing. On Golden Pond, the movie with the old people. I mean, it's not a swamp. It's a pond. In actuality, it's probably more of a swamp than a pond, but we're going to call it a pond anyway. So it's mellow. Is the disc brake CCR still in the works? I've ridden the disc. Clint's ridden the disc. I mean, I just can't. I don't know why you need the disc. And I'm not opposed to the disc, but I don't understand why you need it. Like, my brakes are so sweet. You're not even really using your brakes. At this point, if you need to scrub speed, and look what these guys are doing. They're pulling back. If you're going too fast, you pull back harder. They go higher. And now they're, you take some old guy like me, and I try and follow. I can't follow these guys because even though we're going the same speed when we roll in, they're going straight up in the air. And I'm going like this. And then I'm all over them. Then they go straight up in the air again. And then at some point I got to pass them because I can't go straight up in the air. I only go like this and they go straight up in the air. So I don't even know if anyone needs brakes. And if they do need brakes, I don't know if they need that much brake. And who wants to pay for that crazy brake? But we'll see. A snapping turtle could bite. That's absolutely true. And it's hard to get it open. You might have to remove its head. That could happen in a pond, but it's not a gator. I mean, down in Florida, you get attacked by a gator. What are you going to get attacked by in a pond in Colorado? I mean, I don't know what you're going to do. A bass, a trout, and jump in from the river. I don't know. You're fine. Any plans for a Fit Nasty seat with the Metal Eagle logo on it? I've never thought of that, but All Out Bikes agrees. Disc brakes are overkill. I don't know. This is a big debate. Discs bend way too easy. Bring back the DAC frame. Just call it the Yak frame or something. Sickest S3 geometry frame ever made. it was a sweet frame. And if I remember right, there was a point in time when there was like a Chase Dehart frame, there was a Dak frame, and there was a Hawk frame. And then all of a sudden, these three guys were all gone. And there was a frame. Somehow that frame morphed into the Chase D-Hack frame for a while. So it was Chase D-Hack for Dak, Chase D-Hack. But that probably won't be coming out. Rainbow trout, gonna bite you. I don't know if they do. I caught a couple the other day. Neither one of them bit me. But any thought towards full suspension 20-inch BMX? Would S&M consider making one? Now this is just a giant no, unless we're making it for an 8-year-old rider. I mean, a 20-inch full suspension bike. I know the guys are, those are really good dudes that are making their bike, and I shouldn't really speak this, confidently about it because I haven't ridden one. So it's weird for me to say I would never make one because I've never ridden one. But just theoretically, for me, I feel like if you're going to go through that with the pivots and the shocks and all the work that goes into all that, I'd want a bigger wheel, just so you've got more wheel on the ground. You can soak up more bumps. At least a 22, 24. I mean, I hate this 27.5 business, and I really hated the 29. But 20, it's small. It's tiny. But I don't know. I'm going to hold off on that until I ride one. I'm going to finish this sparkle drink. Dehydrated. Get dehydrated out here at altitude. It's dry. Yeah. If you came to Pondfest and you weren't used to it, you probably know what I'm talking about. Is there any BMX related product out there today that you consider truly innovative? Is it even necessary at this point? There's been so many things through the years. And I mean, what are we talking about BMX? Are we talking about freestyle? We're talking about trails. Are we talking about racing? I don't know. For me, and I'm not really versed on this at this point, but for me, the free coaster has always been the thing. Like is the free coaster finally fully dialed? I mean, I saw the profile one, so this other one, the space one or whatever it is, that different people are using. That to me, the free coaster is the thing that has needed to be dialed for so long. That just opens the door. That free coaster riding is like, I don't know if I ever told anybody, but in 1989, I think, went to Indianapolis for the King of Undervert contest that Ron Wilkerson put on. It was like the first mini ramp contest, like pro mini ramp contest, and the mini ramp had a spine. And I'm telling you, Moliterno and McCoy and Kurt Schmidt and these guys, this is the first time I ever saw people really riding the bike like a skateboard. It was unbelievable. And they were doing it with the coaster. I think Rick did it with the coaster, not even a free coaster, but an actual like locking up coaster, but you could go backwards with it. So I've always thought a free coaster that worked perfect, didn't have the slack, all this, that would be game changer. And maybe that's out. I don't know. I'd like to have one if they are. So if you make one, send me one. That would be sweet. Back in the day, who was your favorite racer and freestyler? That I was just thinking about this the other day because we were at the event. We were talking about like guys that I thought were really innovative. So I don't know if they were my favorite racers or freestylers. Well, maybe I'll tackle the favorite racer and freestyler. My favorite racer of all time, hands down, Ronnie Anderson from Northern California. Favorite racer of all time. I feel like his career probably could have been a lot longer. Or could have been longer. There were like a couple seasons there where he's real close to, being like the number one guy, but he did get a number one AVA plate, which is, it's incredibly hard to do. And he did it against some of the stiffest competition, ever really. So he was my favorite racer. I mean, he was just so wild, but he rode so well. He was ahead of his time with his bike skills. And my favorite freestyler, man, I mean, like McCoy and Hoffman. I like those guys so much. But I don't know. My favorite freestyle, again, this is a guy that didn't ride for very long, but I think Craig Campbell might have been my favorite freestyler. I mean, he essentially, from England, in my opinion, created street riding. I mean, he did the wall ride 540. All that stuff back in the 80s at the banks, the London banks, and so badass and so ahead of his time. So and so I don't know. And then when I was little, I liked Eddie Fiola a lot, the king of the skate park. So I don't know. I'm going with Ronnie Anderson and possibly Craig Campbell. On the podcast you talked about the T1 barcodes being made in Mexico and calling them terrible wands. Now I can't stop calling them that. Now that happened to me too. I also called our event Pondfest, and I can't stop calling it Swamp Fest. So, I mean, it's my fault. I'm sorry. A dirt compactor for the trails is a game changer. Yeah, or like a plate compactor. We have that. We have one. It's a Honda. It's got a name though. It's like a DK complete bike from the 90s. It's got a crazy name. It's like I don't know, the Apache Packer or some crap. I don't know what it's called. But yeah, it's a good tool. It's heavy though. You get a good one, they're heavy. They're hard to drag up, but you can hook a tie down to them or something. I would love to see investment cast dropouts on a frame of work. That is hilarious. Knobster. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I did this. If you look on the Fit website right now, the mixtape frame, the shortcut frame, the Fit blade fork, the Fit shiv fork, all investment cast stuff on these things. Literally nobody cares. Nobody cares. So why investment cast? I know why I put them on there, because they allow you to do a lot of different stuff. You can have a tapered dropout. I mean, you can blend, you can do like the chainstay yoke on the shortcut frame and the mixtape frame is so badass. It's insane. If you ever look at it, the whole thing with the brace, fit on there, all that is one piece. And then you just cut it to length, depending on how long the back end is. You put the chainstays right up over it, because it's kind of, it's like a male-female thing. And then you miter it, put it on the bottom bracket. It's so badass. No one cares. And all the brands have that crap. So I don't know. I don't know what people are, I don't know why. But I love the idea of investment casting. You can't do it in the States. And if you do, it's $1 billion. If Chris Duncan contacted you out of the blue and begged you for $200, would you Venmo it to him? No, I wouldn't. If Chris Duncan Venmo'd me $300, I would Venmo him $200. I'd do that all day. Yes, nobody cares. I mean, I love the dropouts and the braces on my mixtape. Well, thank you, Michael Pickard. That is such a badass frame. And you look at the price. The price is insane. I think we might lose money when we sell those at this point. It's insane. Somebody, love you guys out there. Somebody whose little icon is the cult logo, and their name, their name, screen name here is Robbie M. says, "Can you tell us more on your heat treatment process?" Asking for a friend. Well, Robbie, supposedly Robbie. I know you're not Robbie, but ask Neil. Neil knows. He worked for us, and he knows how to do it. Just ask him. Mixtape. Want to buy one? You should buy one, and you should convince about 200 or 300 other people to buy one. And if you know people that are smaller, you should convince them to buy the shortcut. These frames are made in the same shop in Taiwan, the exact same shop as all your favorite brands. We the Peoples, your Cults, your BSDs, whatever, all of them. They're all made in the same shop. And they're made right next to them with the same welders, the same investment casting. Like everybody's got the same stuff. and they're same wall thicknesses. I mean, they're essentially like the same frames, but different paint, different sticker pack. I don't know. What happened to DK bikes? Do they just do race stuff now? No, I think they do quite a bit of stuff actually. In fact, I was in a bike shop in Durango, Colorado today that has little DK race bikes, but then I think they also do 26-inch dirt jumper completes. But I don't know. It's not the DK from the 80s. That's for sure. It's kind of a different version of the company. But again, Jared is still over there. Billy Danishak, son of the founder, Charlie Danishak. These are really cool dudes. They still own it and run it. It's just different nowadays. They're not going to the track in the big trailer with all these people and the whole deal. But oh yeah, and Robbie M is back. Neil won't play with me anymore. Well, you know what? Neil's a pretty serious dude. Bob, you should know that. He's got real things going on. He's got kids, he's got a family. He doesn't have time for your games. What is the biggest new tech coming out in BMX in the next few years? Man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't see anything really changing. I mean, I gave my buddy a deal on a frame recently. I think he got a CCR, and he went out and immediately spent like $600 on some titanium cranks, which made me crazy. He doesn't know that made me crazy, but if he's watching now, he knows. Sorry, but it just made me crazy. I don't know. Titanium cranks? Do you really need titanium cranks? Do you really need it? I mean, my bike is so dialed, and I think everyone's bike is so dialed at this point. I don't know what problems we're really trying to fix at this point. Give Rita some heat treatment. She always looks gold. I brought this up when I was out in California last week or a couple weeks ago. It was Casey creeping around on me. She's actually not cold at all. She loves her little work area. She's got, her clothes on. She loves what she's got going on over there. But I hear you. She does look cold, but she's in fact not actually cold. What is your go-to beer of choice? I'm not really that concerned about it. Really.
I think it's Mexican lager.
Yeah, Casey thinks it's Ska Brewing Mexican lager. Probably at this point. I mean, that's the local beer here. I do like that. I was thinking it would be cool for S&M to make titanium forks. I doubt it would be cost effective. I don't know, man. Titanium fork. I don't know if you guys follow, Caden Cerny has Caden BMX, but he has some titanium forks. He had some titanium. Well, he had, a titanium fork. Now he has a couple pieces of forks. But again, like, this is the thing. Like, they're so light, and they worked so well for him for so long because he was trying to keep his bike really light because he's small and he's doing he's doing double flip. He's doing all the stuff now. But you can't ride that stuff too long. I mean, come on. You got a titanium fork. You swap it out. 6 months, maybe. But no one's going to do that. And you're going to spend that much money on a titanium fork. You're going to ride it until, when are you going to ride it till? Probably going to ride it until it snaps. Bad deal. So I don't know. Can we get Rita on an S&M Bikes t-shirt that we were just talking about that the other day? I don't know. I don't know how she would feel about that. Interesting Rita trivia. Back in the day, we had Rita and we had little Rita. Rita's daughter used to work with Rita right next to her. 2 Ritas. Rita, little Rita. Awesome. Rita is the best. She really is. What do you think of YouTubers? I mean, I don't know. I guess they're making money. There's a lot harder ways to make money. That's for sure. S&M riders only drink Bud Light. Maybe if it's free. What's been the feedback on the 12-step bar? Are they designed more for a taller rider, or was there another reason you decided to do something bigger than the 11s? We had people asking for them, believe it or not. People were asking for a 12-inch bar. Now, I don't know. I haven't seen one out in the wild, but I know a lot of guys that ride ski bikes run 12. They run huge bars. our dog is playing with the neighbors, but he's having a good time. Nobody listening to me over here. Everyone's running around looking for the dog. The neighbor just texted me. Chief is here playing with Thor, and they're having a good time. He's at the Quonset hut.
Yeah, I'm looking for the cat and the dog.
Oh, so the cat's missing too. It's like all hell's breaking loose over here. Do you get in trouble for doing backflips mid-race? I remember back in the day when Todd Lyons would always huck them mid-race. I think people loved it when Todd would do that. Climber did it a few times too. I don't know. Is it like, I think Barry Nobles maybe does it too. Like, there's quite a few dudes that do backflips mid-race these days or over the years. I don't think I think people love it. It's pretty entertaining. Do you ever think about racing in the Masters class? Well, last time I raced, I was in last time I did like a normal BMX race, I think was in Vegas, and I did the 50 or 46 to 50 class, maybe 46 to 50 expert, I think it was called. It was fun. Raced Billy Griggs, bunch of dudes, super fun. But yeah, I'm gonna get back in there soon, one of these days, whatever. I'm doing that Frogtown thing in a few weeks, so that's kind of old school racing, but super fun. I dig the videos of you riding trails. As an older rider myself, I have mad respect. Thank you, Shad Life. Yeah, I love riding the trails. I mean, I was hoping to ride a lot more this Saturday night when the big session happened, but especially we had Stu Johnson there. Get some tricks, Stu film them. I was really, really looking forward to that. Unfortunately, I just overcooked it all week and got up there, took a few runs. Me and Troy McMurray took a few runs together. My right leg, I don't know what happened. I got my right leg seized up for a few minutes. I got some muscle cramp or something. Or maybe I was dehydrated. It was bizarre. And then I got squirrely and almost crashed and thought, you know what? I'm shutting it down. It's not a BMX action photo shoot. I don't have to do the no footer. But I really had some big plans, but didn't happen. But hey, live to ride another day. That's the thing about being older or whatever. I'm going to be 53 in a few weeks. You got to avoid getting hurt. So you get weird and you just think, oh man, I've had 32 twisted T's today. I'm riding in swim trunks. I don't know where my helmet is. My leg just cramped up. You just got to pull it over. Seriously. I had no choice. Better renew your membership or you're going to lose your points. We all learned that, didn't we? From Keith Trainer and Clayton John. Oh, I remember I had a question from my good buddy, John Paul Rogers on the Instagram. Who would win in a fight in their heyday? Clayton John or Bob Tedesco? I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, hands down, Clayton John wins the fight. Sorry, all you NBL dudes, Ohio dudes. I feel like Clayton John's Pennsylvania hockey coach background and just how, the guy's got like a killer instinct. I know he does. Bob, I don't know, man. Was Bob? I see Bob Tabasco as like a deadhead, maybe just cruising around East Coast, in his Volkswagen, following the dead. So I think Clayton just beats him down. And not only does Clayton beat him down, Clayton's beating him down with there's a whole handful of diamond rings, just hammering Bob. And Bob's just rolling around in his OP shorts, this big foam trucker hat. Clayton's just hammering him with the cowboy boot and the diamonds. Yeah, Clayton John wins that fight, in my opinion. At your legend status, what is the newest trick you have learned? I don't think you know what? Like a few years back, the guys at work taught me how to do the 180 on flat and then turn the bars, kind of like the opposite way that I would turn them. And then you slide around. That might have been the newest trick. I'm not sure what that's called. Cool guy rollback, I call it. But now you don't learn tricks really at this age. You just kind of like, you get them back. You remember, oh, I used to do that. I actually used to X up the other way. I could X up that way, and I could X up that way. Now you got to X up. Your shoulder feels like your arm's going to come out of socket. You can't even do an X up. So I don't know. You just get lucky to get your tricks back. Any chance of seeing the drawstring military surplus style S&M backpacks? Maybe. We'll look into that. We used to have a military place we bought from, but that kind of stuff in BMX, all the soft goods or whatever, it just doesn't sell like it used to. And here's the problem. This is the main problem. So say we do this is the animal jacket. I always think about the animal, the animal New York, animal New Jersey, animal Ralph Sinisi, animal jacket. This thing was so sick. Probably, I think it retailed for $200. I remember going in Van Homan's 2x4 Storm downtown Philly once and put one on, and I was like, this is so rad. It's like a trench coat, military style, like a mod, like an English mod jacket. I think it had fur on the hood. So cool. This thing cost $150 probably for Ralph to buy. How many dudes ride for Animal? Every single dude that rides for Animal gets a free one right off the bat, like just immediately. 30. Boom. Ralph gives away 30 jackets. And then what? He sells 50. That's ugly. Can't even make the jacket. You cannot make the Animal jacket, especially when you sponsor as many people as we do. I mean, we used to sell the DK bike bag. We didn't even make it. We just sold it. The DK bike bag. If you rode for S&M or Fit, you were bound to hit us up and say, yo, can I get one of those DK bike bags? Dude, we had to buy these. It doesn't do us any good to give you the DK bike bag, but what are you going to do? Tell them no? You kind of have to give them the DK bike bag. So we don't sell the DK bike bag. And the military backpack, probably not. So you got to give away so much crap. You can't sell enough to pay for it. I have Slam XLT bars. What bar is comparable to Slam XLT but slightly taller? I have no idea. There's 400 bars on the S&M site. You got to go on there and just check it out. Me personally, like the Credence, 925 or 9 1/8, whatever it is, the bigger one, not the 8.7, but the bigger one. Love it. What's the best punk rock band you've seen in person? Well, that's a good question too. So first of all, we gotta preface that by saying, what's the best punk rock band you've seen in person and remember? That's the hardest part. TSOL, always really good. Social Distortion, seen them, pretty good. Not a big fan of Mike Ness jocking out on his audience and telling kids to get jobs at Burger King. So I don't know. TSOL was up there. There's a band, I think they're from New York, called Flipper, that I saw one time. That was unreal. The guys all swapped instruments and it was just wild. So I don't know. Definitely not. I love Social D, don't get me wrong, but that show, they played that show. They've been touring for 25 years nonstop. They play the same show every night, 13 days in a row at the House of Blues, in Anaheim, sold out. So they're just on autopilot. Was anybody cracking whips or doing nitrous at Pondfest? Not as far as I know. But who knows? Really curious about them Hallahans. Any plans on sponsoring them a bit more? Do they even consider like that, or is it all just for fun for riding for them? Well, there's 4 Hallahan kids. There's Casey, the daughter. There's the 2 that came out here. There's Shane, there's Nate, and there's Lucas. Shane rides for Fit, Nathan and Lucas ride for S&M. Casey, I believe Melissa hooked Casey up with Fit too. But only Nathan and Lucas came out here, and it was a real quick trip. They came out with Clint and Stu on Friday, and they basically, I'm not kidding you, these 2 dudes busted their asses for probably 14 hours the first day, just on the Bobcats, just one of them in the excavator, one of them in the skiddy, and the shovel work and watering. It was unreal. I'm blown away by these guys. I love them. I absolutely love everything they're doing. So yeah, hopefully the Hallahans are part of what we're doing as long as we're doing it. Knock on wood. Before S&M, they loved FBM. They were on FBM when Steve shut that down. They were I think they were devastated. But we were lucky enough to have an opportunity to get to know them and work with them. And we want to do more and more with them for sure. So this Rambler is kind of going to be like it's basically their little kind of line, their frames, some of the graphics and things like that. Like this is all giving them an opportunity to kind of see some of their ideas come to life. So it's going to be really cool. It's pretty exciting to get into that. So can't say enough about those dudes. The Dimensions, again, follow them. I rode today on Instagram. Nate and Lucas kind of share that account. Any memory, and they've been sharing things about the frames as they kind of, unfold. Any memories of Dave Vanderspeck? Well, yeah, I was friends with Dave. Unfortunately, he took his own life. I rode with them, did a dirt jumping contest with them before, rode street with them. I mean, he was like one of the first guys who would skateboard. He would ride. He could ride dirt. He could ride street, ride whatever. He was an awesome dude. Curb Dogs. Rest in peace. Has the UCI backed off their BS that Matt Hoffman warned the BMX world about? Well, I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. I know the craziest story about that, and I'm not involved with a lot of that. Whatever, like the official side of things with the sanctioning bodies or whatever. I was trying to avoid that. But I heard from somebody that one of the Olympic guys years ago never really wanted racing in the Olympics. He wanted freestyle in the Olympics, but he said BMX, somebody misinterpreted what he said, and they ended up with racing in the Olympics first, and then eventually they came back, and now they have freestyle too. That's what I heard. So, I mean, nobody get mad at me. I'm just telling you what I heard. The racing in the Olympics is pretty badass, but I mean, man, can you imagine building that track and the whole deal? It's so crazy. I mean, at least with the freestyle, it's relatively straightforward. Throw up some ramps, whatever. Super easy. But man, I don't know. So I don't know what the BS was. It's all BS, man. It's Matt Hoffman, right? Bicycle stunts. It's all BS. But I don't know what BS he was telling them about. But no one knows more about putting on events than Matt Hoffman. I mean, he would put them on and then ride in them. And I'm telling you, there's nothing harder than that. You try and put on an event, you're cooked. You can't, like, riding is so hard. And I'm just talking about dicking around, like going through some little, whoop-de-doos. Matt Hoffman would put on the event and then try and do like the best vert run or street run or whatever, dirt even. It's insane. Putting on events and riding in them is insane. I mean, I think we talk about Trey. You imagine if Trey Jones came to Swamp Fest and he was just like a dude. He wasn't putting on the event. Like, own it. He would own the event. But he's trying to put it on, and then he's trying to get out there and ride. You don't see him ride much because, I mean, it's almost impossible. So damn hard. So I've been trying to find the parody you guys did about Adam 22 and the come up. Do you remember Das come up and whatever happened to Adam 22? The parody, there's like screenshots of the parody in the S&M Behind the Shield book. The actual video parody that I made with the guy that worked for us at the time, Justin Soul, a Canadian guy from Eastern Canada, I think. That must be on YouTube or somewhere, or maybe they took it down because it's got a Hitler in it or something. I don't know. They're screening all that these days, I think. Whatever happened to Adam 22? Appears to be married, has a child. He's in the podcast business with the No Jumper, in the hip hop world, and also the adult world, whatever. It seems like he's doing really good. Saw him on the cover of a magazine in the airport one day. That's crazy. What else we got here? Why no raw 20 or 22-inch forks? Well, I feel like I go over this all the time, but the forks, for the most part, are heat treated. And when they're heat treated, then you got to sandblast them. Then they're just silver or gray. And you do raw, it's just gray. It doesn't have the weld. It doesn't look like, when you think of raw, you think of the unheat treated frame with the rainbow and everything on the weld. So it's not going to look like that. It's going to look silver. So that's why. You can do a raw fork, but it's an unheat treated fork. So it's either going to be like just a whatever, like a wheelie bike fork, or it's going to be really heavy duty, like too thick and heavy to put on a real bike. So that's why. Okay, so here's some details on the UCI. The UCI was essentially trying to privatize BMX events to be governing body of influential events. I mean, someone's always trying to privatize BMX events, right? Whether it's the ABA or whatever. I mean, you got to make a business out of it. I was thinking about this the other day. I mean, when I was a kid, I was just such a punk. It's unreal that I would go to these races, especially like, okay, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I fly to Pine Bluff, Arkansas, whatever, 16, and I get in the rental car, go to the track. Track's muddy. And I'm like, oh, what a bunch of goons. Like, this track's muddy. They're goons, blah, blah, blah. I mean, looking back on it, it rained for a month and the dirt was sitting out in the rain. And it's amazing they even got the dirt into the stadium and built anything that was even like remotely rideable. But you don't see it that way when you're a punk 16-year-old kid. You just, oh, these guys are goons who can build a track. Fuck, dude, you go build a track out of mud. It's insane. I don't know. I'm always complaining about the track. Looking back on it now, these guys, I think it was Neil Allen was like the guy back in the day. They build these tracks in like a night. You go in there on a Thursday morning with a couple pieces of equipment and a bunch of piles of dirt. I mean, who knows? Rocky dirt, muddy dirt, sandy dirt, whatever dirt they give them. And they're just, okay, dude, see you tomorrow. Build the track. It's crazy. And these guys would build the freaking track. And you show up the next day and it was rideable. You could not only ride, you could race on it, like pass each other and go over jumps and crap. Unreal. I don't know. And I used to just bitch constantly about it. But looking back on it now, I mean, it's unreal that they could even do that. So all that takes money. You can't just, you're not just running around the country with a whole staff of people putting on these events. Is it expensive? Yeah, but you know what? Nobody ever forced you to go to a national that was, 14 states over or whatever. You could just stick in your little zone if you didn't have that kind of budget. You don't have to race, 3 classes on Friday and 3 classes on Saturday and 3 on Sunday. You could race 1 class. You don't have to have a $3,000 bike either. So the amount of money people spend on that crap is kind of up to them. So is it cheap? No. Is anything cheap? No. Is it cooler than having your kids sit at home and vegetate and watch YouTube all day? Absolutely. Edmonton says, what's up? Edmonton, Alberta. Love Edmonton, Alberta. I've raced in Edmonton, Alberta. It was really fun. Hey, Chris, are you running the full-size CCR or the junior? What? Do I look like a small kid? Come on, man. Jeff Ferris? I'm on a 21-inch top tube. I'm about 5'10". I'm not riding a junior frame. Come on. That's silly. Favorite East Coast trails you ever rode? Man, that's Dave King's. I love Dave King's Nom trails in PA. But I've ridden so many good East Coast trails. I mean, from I don't even know the names, but up in the Northeast, I kind of became I spent way more time in the office than out on the road by the time Posh. Like when Posh first started, it wasn't what you think of as Posh, towards the end. That was more of my era, early 90s. So I missed, I wasn't good enough to go to East Side and ride that. I wasn't good enough to ride the biggest stuff at Posh in its heyday. But chillers, stuff like that, or maybe even caddy, nowadays, yeah, dude, those little lines, I'm all over that stuff. But back in the day, I would pretty much ride anything. And towards the end of that was Dave King's Nom spot, and would go there or went there for 4th of July jam. It was super fun. So that comes to mind. Yeah, back in the early 80s in Edmonton, plus, of course, the old 1664 crew more recently. Yeah, exactly. We used to race in Edmonton and then go up there to visit Bernie at 1664. Do you remember the Todd Lyons games backflip when he snapped his Huffy into? Oh, man. Attacked by a stuffed animal. Yeah. Thorsby days, Edmonton, watching Al Shantz. Yeah, Al or Nothing Shantz rode for S&M. He did. I never heard you talk about your tattoos. Well, that's funny. I have 2 tattoos. That's it. A Comp 3 tire, which, that's the tire, and an S&M logo. So that's it. Any shields? I don't have that shield. It's sketchy. It's the Stricker shield. Stricker made a shield, a hand-drawn shield. I just thought it was like so demented. I got it tattooed on me. I should get a real shield though, like a good one. Hey Chris, I need some S&M Gen 1 Holmes frame stickers. You guys have any? I have no idea. You got to hit those guys up. Hit up Murph. Do you have plans to make a modern version of the platform dirt bike? No, we really don't. I got to mention Expert and Expert XL size Steel Panthers again. Keep it on your mind. Yeah, it definitely is. We were just talking about that recently. I got to get out to the track, see what all the dudes are doing. We've got some guys and gals out at the track these days that some of them even came to Pondfest. Stricker's the man. He really was. Blunt cranks coming back soon? No, but we do have 160s in stock, and you can find some at bike shops. Everyone's running titanium cranks now, man. Haven't you heard? Why are we gonna bother with chromoly cranks? It's all titanium. Reissue the gold Aitken frame. Man, Aitken. Come on. Just get into that real quick. I mean, we're only doing this for an hour, so we're almost done. But this is about Pondfest, really. I know not a lot of you guys were able to come to Pondfest, but maybe next year. How about Aitken? Like Aitken shows up out of nowhere. We did not expect him to be there. We had talked to him about making it, and it didn't look like it was going to happen. Then he jumps in the truck with his buddy Baboon. If you guys know Baboon, like I think he's from Jersey, but he has a spot out in Utah now, and he travels all around and rides. Like, super cool dude. He throws Mikey in the truck and the dog. They come out here, and Mike kind of rides the medium line all day Saturday or towards the end of Saturday. He's having a good time. Rides a little bit Sunday morning, not a lot. We basically, me and Clint and the Hallahans and Keith Hartwell and just like a bunch, and Boone and Mikey, a bunch of us got inner tubes and went down the river for a few hours. And when we come back, I mean, everybody's cooked. No one's really riding anymore. Like the riding's over, basically. I personally rode all week, like every night, testing new stuff we were building. And I was done. Well, Mikey starts raking. He's got the leaf rake. He's raking the line. I was like, oh my God. So I don't know how many of you guys know Mikey's story with Anthem 2 in the fall and the subsequent head injury and just the years of rehabilitation and ups and downs with the medication and the whole deal. But Mike's been through the ringer. And his brain still knows how to ride, obviously, but his body just isn't always, on board. So it's super sketchy. I know Mikey knows what he's doing more than anybody, but like I said, the body just isn't always, on the same page. But it's a touchy thing. I don't want to say, dude, pull it over, because then he's, Mike's real headstrong. He's just going to be like, beat it, get out of my way, I'm going up there, and that's going to be ugly. Put him in a bad head space. But I don't really want to encourage it too much, because it's, I don't know. I don't want him to go over the bars, hit his head. Like this point, he's hit his head so many times. It doesn't take much to really send him loopy or out for a while. And then what? It's a bad deal once you start getting the head injuries. They get exponentially worse, and it's like easier and easier to be concussed to be unconscious. It gets terrible. I'm seeing this with all the dudes, from Matt, Hoffman, just everybody that's had a traumatic head injury. I mean, you get to the point where you hit your head on the, shelf trying to get a coffee mug, and you could be laying on the floor unconscious. It's that bad. So anyway, I hate the crowd chanting deal, like Mikey at Texas Toast back in the day, like the first Texas Toast when he followed Tom Dugan through the dirt jumps, and he wasn't that. I think he was only maybe 5 years after his head injury at that point. And once the crowd, these are young kids. Nobody knows anything about head injuries. They don't give a shit. They're just chanting. It's like a, I don't know, like gladiator pit. And they're like, Aitken. Oh, now he's on the roll in. And I'm like, oh God, don't chant his name. And they start chanting his name. So it's just a bad deal. Now he's going to go. So in that case, back at Texas Toast, he did go. And he just, each set was like, oh my God, just barely got over each set. And he got through the line and it was like, the place erupted. But again, like we're talking like we're on a razor's edge here and anything goes wrong and it's just bad. So then, what kind of feedback you're giving them is like, oh, you're the man. We love you. You're awesome. But man, that could have gone so bad. It didn't go bad. So you feel like, okay, dodged a bullet, but I don't want to be chanting his name. So anyway, I'm up now. We're here at Pondfest on Sunday night and literally everyone's gone. Like Stu even left. So no one's even filming. Stu's gone. Everyone's gone. Then me, Freddie Chulo, Dogger, I think like Bentley King and his dad. There's like a handful of us there. And Mike is raking the line. The line is blown out. Disc brake, micro knobby guy, blew it out. It's gone. I don't even know, there's like this much of a line left. It's just awful. Shaved on both sides. Everything's just sand pit. It's terrible. And Mike goes up to the top. So I don't know what to do. I'm pulling out all kinds of weird tricks, and I'm going to give away my tricks, Mike. So if you're listening, but I started the truck. I thought, oh, I'll just start the truck. Maybe he'll be like, oh, damn, I don't want to get left behind. I got to go get in the truck. I mean, that didn't work. So I did that. And then I was like, oh, I'll just pick up some trash and kind of roam around and talk about how blown out the spot is. So I tried that one, trash and picking up trash. Mike, oh man, this place is thrashed. These guys ruined the spot. God, we're going to have a lot of work to do this week, man. It's unrideable. That didn't work. So what happens? That fucker rolls in and gets through the line and somebody gets it on the cell phone. And then the 10 of us there, I mean, I'm like torn. Should I be giving him positive feedback on that? Or should I be mad that he even rolled in? I mean, am I like his, am I his guardian at this point? Should I be mad at him? I don't know. I was stoked. Inside, I was like, oh my God, that's insane that he did that. But more than anything, I'm just happy it went good. And man, no cameras, no nothing. I mean, to me, that's what it's all about. No chanting crowd. It was like the sun was setting. It was crazy. And Mike gets through the line purely for the love of it and purely because he personally feels like he can do it. And he's still got that mindset. So that was an insane way to wrap it up. And speaking of wrapping it up, yeah, we've been doing this an hour. So does anyone, I'll take a few more questions. And then if anyone has specific Pondfest questions, that's what I'd like to get into before we shut this down. But who is the best character from Lords of Dogtown? I mean, come on. I mean, Alva, Adams, Peralta, all these guys. I mean, they're so badass. Aitken is a legend. Absolutely. Love your bikes, Chris. You really made something special with S&M. Well, thank you, man. It's people like you that have made it possible. 26-inch race cruiser. That's a no. Nope, not happening. Not happening on that one. What was the most surprising disappointment or flop you've seen or experienced in BMX? Most disappointing. Biggest disappointment. Man, I don't really get disappointed, honestly. We have one. Anyone tip a porta potty at Pondfest? No. And shout out to Rocky Mountain Sanitation for the porta potties. They actually did a really, really good job. A lot of people comment on how clean the porta potties were. So, Giles, thank you for that. Absolute pleasure. Thank you for answering my questions. S&M for life. Well, thank you. Thanks for the awesome Q&A. Finishing Donaire. I don't know what that is. And hopping on the Metal Eagle to go for a ride. Nice. All right, boys. Well, next year, I'll just tell you a little bit about next year. Of course, right when the event's over, you're fried. You're like, oh my God, never doing this again. And then the next day you start coming around a little bit. And then you're like, man, I was so sick. Going to have to do that again. It's just the way it works. Pondfest 2024. As a family man and whatnot, I need time to plan. How far out will the dates be announced? That is not a kid's drink.
I'm
Jerry.
smelling it.
Yeah, well, it's not. That is not for children. So here's what I'm thinking. I'll just get into this, maybe 5-10 minutes on this, and then we wrap it up. Pondfest 2024. So the first party we did September 17th, and that was because the spot didn't really exist until then. You know, Dave King, the Dirt Sculpt boys came out, built the spot. We got it running in July, I think, August, and it was all happened really quick. Now we got super lucky to even have an event September 17th because of the monsoon rains that happened here, and it rained for 3 weeks straight. Luckily, Adam Baker and the Dirt Doctors guys from up north, from Denver, they came down, fixed the spot up, and saved our butt. But so that's a little too late because of the weather. Although it was super nice, the colors were changing, the dirt was moist, but man, we got lucky. So then this year, I wanted to bring it back a little. And Troy McMurray was getting married up in Denver. It's about a 4-hour drive north of here. So I decided to kind of do it the weekend after Troy's wedding, thinking that a lot of people would come into town from out of the state or out of the country, go to Troy's wedding and then come down. And a lot of people did that. So it worked out perfect. That's why we did it the weekend that we did in conjunction with Troy's wedding. But for 2024, I think I'm going to go back even earlier and probably do it in July at some point. And my reasoning for this is there'll be more snow still melting, so the river will be higher, so people can June or July. I'm in there somewhere. So there'll be more water in the river, so you can tube easier. The fishing will be, if you're into fly fishing, there'll be a lot more water, more trout. The pond, which is groundwater, which kind of moves with the river, the pond will be a lot higher, which will be good if we tried to lake jump off some shady pallet with a mountain bike. That was pretty terrible, but it was funny. The rolling was sketchier than the jump. The rolling was all terrible, and there was no water in the pond, so you landed on the rocks. It was awful. But so anyway, that's what I'm thinking. So loosely planning, as you know now. I haven't given out the exact address, but nobody needs it. Everyone that's been here, super easy to find. We're in the southwestern corner of Colorado, just above New Mexico. 13-hour drive from Southern California, probably 14-hour drive from Austin, 6 hours from Phoenix, 6 hours from Flagstaff. I mean, it's 4 hours from Denver. Where guys came here from New Zealand, England, all over the place for this year. So a little bit earlier. Pond rail. We were talking about a pond rail because we've got a couple slide pipes in stock. So maybe we can put 1,100 of them across the pond, and then we'd be out of stock. That'd be good. Maybe a better lake jump. The lake jump was pretty fun. It was real spontaneous. We just, Luke just threw a pile of dirt down. He just brought the skiddy over, put some dirt. We put a pallet on it. I had an old mountain bike. Nobody had a BMX bike they wanted to put in the water. So we had an old mountain bike. I think Tipton put some, pool noodles on the frame, and we just rode that. But if we had a proper ramp and we had a BMX bike, I mean, it'd be limitless what you could do into this pond, especially if we had a safe run up that wasn't, 6 inches deep in sand and turning over a tree stump with plywood. So maybe we do that. We were talking about a new video premiere, doing a new episode, doing a new dirt rules over the course of the year, starting now, maybe even Australia, an Australian trails trip, some New Zealand, maybe Hallahans, Reynolds, some of the trail guys. I mean, there's no shortage of guys that rip trails that ride for S&M and fit. So maybe a video premiere or two, better pond setup, maybe a rail thing. Maybe we do some events, maybe do an old dude session would be nice for me and some of the older guys, so that, like I said, I'm not trying to go under guys that are 20 feet in the air and I'm 2 feet in the air. So maybe we do over 40 session for an hour. Those are a couple ideas. More structure, almost like a loose schedule of the day, so people know what's going on. And so that's kind of the deal, same thing. Work on Friday, ride Saturday, a little bit of riding on Sunday. Someone says that roll-in was sketchy. It was super sketchy. So bad. more Hallahans. They're actually talking about coming out for maybe a solid month, maybe the whole family, you know, Casey and Shane and mom and dad, the whole deal. Maybe they come out for a whole month before the event. And really, I'm talking about like expanding the spot, like going straight where the left hip is, going straight and doing more stuff out there. So better jumps, video premiere, better lake jump, more fun, like BMX bikes for that, better ramp, water in the pond, maybe some rails out into the pond. I'm tearing down the mini ramp in the barn next week, and I'm going to move that down there and widen that, change the transition. So there'll be a little mini ramp down there. Pondfest concert starring Dee Schneider. That's probably not going to happen. I think we really drove the neighbors nuts this time with, I think, you know, Watts and me and Murph. I think we were at the fire till 4 and 5 in the morning. That was a little much. We have to tone that down next year. Got to film the whole ordeal. We did. Stu Johnson filmed the whole ordeal, and we'll have a Pondfest video coming out soon. Will Hoder be there in 24? I'm sure he will be. He wanted to be here real bad. I know his back's been bothering him, and he's got a strange phobia with flying at the moment. So that was an issue. But skate park bowl jam. I mean, here's the thing. This is a tourist town. It gets packed with people. You really want to come down to the pond with your camp set up, and you just want to just stay there. You don't want to go into town. And driving back and forth into town, it's just such a pain. And the skate park bowl jam, like you do a skate park bowl jam anywhere. The whole idea of this event is not only are we riding, but you know, you're in the pond, you're in the river, you've got your own little camp set up. It's just a totally different vibe. Modelo on tap. That is not a bad idea. So yeah, that is basically the idea for next year. And everyone's been so busy with the event, driving back from the event. So busy at work trying to catch up because all the guys were here. Jason was here. Murph was here. Thomas from the shop was here. So we didn't even have any Factory Friday footage. So I figured we'd just catch up on this instead of Factory Friday. So this is it. There will be no Factory Friday showing up today. And I think that's about it. Melissa, you're, my right-hand person on this event. Do you have any suggestions or ideas? Do you have anything to say?
For next year?
Yeah, 2024 Pondfest.
No, but as a longtime local, I can talk to you.
A longtime local, Pagosa Springs local.
This is my hometown. So just speaking to the kind of Swamp Fest vibe, I'm pretty sure Chris is the one.
Pondfest.
No, the Swamp Fest vibe.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure you're the one that burnt down the first Swamp Fest and created that mayhem.
Well, I thought that's what we were supposed to do. That's what I'm trying to say.
But all I'm saying is that we can't do that.
Then I found out that's not what we were supposed to do.
We can't do this here because my neighbor is like my second grade teacher who's like 85 or something down there. So it's it's just a family friendly thing. You don't have to have a family, but like it's just a little bit more like come down and camp and enjoy nature. Yeah. It's we throw a lot of parties. We'll throw a big party,
like the one guy
rage elsewhere, but
the one guy that overserved himself, he did so like in our little campsite, and we've actually been living down there for the whole summer in our little mini Winnie. And this guy got so ham-boned, he comes over there, and at one point he wants to sit down at the fire, and there's a brand new thing of like French onion dip in a glass jar. He just smashes that in the fire.
And after a couple of margaritas, I was really looking forward to eating that French onion dip, and it was
tell me about it. Then he goes to sit down on the cooler. The lid was up on the cooler. So
anyway, it happens, and normally it's me or Chris.
I'd have let him sit in the fire, but yeah, normally it's us. Normally it's us, but at this event, it's not.
The point is that we're really excited to have a lot more people down here, and
but we got to keep it pretty cool.
It's just too small a town, and we had one stoplight and no fast food, so everybody knows me. So if it goes sideways, it's a thing.
Yeah, that's true. But that being said,
so come and enjoy it, and just. Treat it like it was your own.
Yeah, the town is sweet. And that being said, we still had a really good time. I don't know. Like there's a time and a place for everything, I guess. It just, I just don't want to deal with a bunch of, drunk teenagers on, souped up lawnmowers or whatever. That just seems too wild for me. So, that's what somebody who said this, Centinelo, is from like a Mexican, person. I don't know what's going on here. That's what appealed to me most. A BMX camping trip to beautiful Colorado. Exactly. And a lot of people, they turn this into a whole thing. Like they went up north to Frisco, and that, that's like whatever, 250, 300 miles from here. It's really far. But then there's other stuff. There's like, I don't know if you know Seth, like Goodland, and he's Salida. That's only a couple hours away. Jason Sundays down in Taos, New Mexico. That's only a couple hours away. And there's great skate parks all over Colorado and New Mexico, northern New Mexico for that matter. And there's trails, there's mountain bike spots like crazy. So that's the idea to me, would be to turn it into a whole deal and get a little bit of everything. If you can take, a week or two off work. But if you can't, you only have 4 days, this is a great place to come. And you can get a little bit of all those experiences here, in town. So anyway, old school flat track race next year, no clip-ins. That's really funny because I was actually looking at a spot on the property yesterday, thinking that we could build like a old school BMX track, like from the episode of the BMX Chips episode, with a wooden starting gate with axe handles holding it up. And we wouldn't have to ride old school bikes. You could ride modern bikes. It could be like the dudes from the trails. You could ride the trails, and then in the evening you could come over to this like sketchy old school 70s BMX track. We could light it up. We could have this like, do a couple motos over there. That might be like too much to deal with, but it would be really funny. Can we get a Melissa podcast? She's the best. She is pretty darn good. The podcast could be good. You guys might not want to hear that much truth coming out of a non-writer. Oh, the dreaded non-writer. But yeah, it would be good. Maybe a finish line fight. Yeah, we could do that. If we had an old school track, we probably would have that. King of Undervert. Yeah, we could do that too. I don't know. The ideas are limitless, really. But if you guys have them, you can always DM me on Instagram. Like I am private, so if you've like sent me a friend request, I'm taking a while. That's because I get a lot and I go through them individually. And then the other thing is, like, if you don't have a photo, I just delete them instantly. And if you don't have any posts, I just delete it instantly. And if you don't have anything on your Instagram about bikes at all, I usually just delete it, because who wants to follow me if you're not into bikes?
Look what I found.
If you're not into bikes, it just seems fake to me. I don't know. And no posts. Is this a thing with the kids now? They have Instagrams, they don't have any posts. So if you're not invested in your Instagram account, I don't really want, it just doesn't make sense to me. So don't get offended if I just delete you. That's why, I want to see somebody that's into bikes that posts, once a week or something, that's into it, that's got, a couple hundred posts, that's actually following people. People follow them like real human beings. So that's the deal. Didn't you compete in the original King of Undervert in Indianapolis? Yes, I did. I rode in the Undervert contest on my regular old S&M dirt jump race bike. I think I did some boned out gross airs, jumped the spine, maybe 3'd the spine, no tuck, no hand or the spine, or spin the spine. Feeble grinds. I definitely had a peg. I could do some feeble grinds. Feeble bar. I don't know. I don't have that many tricks, so probably did all those. And yeah, they can't handle the truth. They really can't. You can't handle the truth. Nobody can handle the truth. And then when you come up with your opinion or whatever, people get all bent out of shape. So might be better off just leaving Melissa behind the scenes. But if you're involved with S&M or Fit, you know what a big part of it she is. And she knows more about what's going on than I do. That is for sure. Kitty. Yep, that's Keanu. He's been down at the pond with the dog Chief for the whole summer, and they're glad to be back here at the house. So anyway, thank you, everybody. It's been fun. Pondfest was awesome. Everybody that came. if you did come out with the disc brake and the micro knobbies, don't be upset. I'm just like throwing things out there. The thing just, the whole place just started to disintegrate. So I don't know. I got to do a better job, maybe getting better dirt. I got to buy the dirt and I got to truck it in. It's kind of hard. It's expensive, but the regular dirt here, it's river bottom. So it's rocky, it's silty, it's moon dust. It's like, you can't pack it. You can't build jumps out of it. It's terrible. So I got to bring it all in. So, all right. How do I shut this down?
I'll do it.
Oh, she's going to do it. Pondfest merch. We probably got too much. So we have a lot available still on the site. So check it out. I got to actually put it on the S&M and the Fit site. So,
can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go right ahead.
We're doing something that's pretty cool where if you have any favorite riders on S&M or Fit, and they have a link in their bio, you can go support them and buy it from them, and we actually give them a percentage of the sales.
So who's got that? Clint's got that.
I mean, a lot of people do it, but yeah, I noticed that Clint, we talked to Clint about it. You get
10% off?
You get 10% off, and then we give them 10% of.
So they get the 10%?
Yeah. That's
pretty sweet.
Yep. I mean, that costs us 20%, but it's cool.
Is that 20%?
Well, yeah, because they get 10% and then the rider gets 10%. If you have a local bike shop, support your local bike shop. If you don't have a local bike shop.
So can we rethink this?
Well, no.
Or is this a done deal?
No, it's a done deal. But all I'm saying is that if you want Pondfest merch and you have a rider that you like, there's several. Just go. You could actually DM them. Everybody has it. They don't always use it, but it's just kind of a cool way to give money directly to the riders.
Does Kareem have a discount code?
He does. Does he know how to use it? I'm not sure.
But he doesn't use it. They use it.
Yeah, but does he know how to tell people how to use it? But
I saw you're on here, Kareem. Do you know?
I can hit up my homie.
Let's wait for Kareem. Before we shut this thing off.
My homie McCream.
Does Nutter have a discount code?
He does, and Nutter knows how to use it. So hit up Nutter.
What do you mean he knows how to use it? He knows how to tell people about it?
Yeah, they have a link. They've been given a link, and they can share it with you, and you get 10% off stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, look it. See, somebody used Nutter's discount. Aitken has a discount code too. He might need some help, again, using it, but we talked about it again this weekend. Anyway, this is just kind of a way, if you have somebody that you really care about, one of our riders who you want to actually support
them.
And
if you can't find this stuff, that's the big thing. It's like you go to the shop, and the shops, I mean, we have some really good shops, but a lot of the shops are just falling off entirely. I mean, I was at a shop today that used to be a killer dealer of ours. Yeah. They don't have one single thing, not a single thing in the shop. Nothing.
Yeah.
They have nothing. So if you go to your shop, you can't find anything. And then they're, we'll order it for you. So I'll order it myself. I don't need you to order it. But if you have a good shop like Empire or, Powers, Pusher, there's so many good shops. If they have it, support them too. But if your shop is kind of off the back and they're going to order it for you, I'll order it myself. And I'll get 10% off. And I'll get 10%, 20% total.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a frame, you get, say it's a $500 frame, you get $50 off, and and Nutter gets $50 extra in addition to his royalty. So it's just like you're legitimately helping out the riders that that you're into. So I just kind of wanted to mention that when he did the merch thing. So if you're interested in buying the merch to help support the event, which is sweet because it's a free event, and we're probably not going to retire. We're just going to have a bunch of equipment and dirt to ride around on because we're not going to have any money, but that's fine.
On that note, Brad Anderson from Las Vegas, Nevada, just bought a Pondfest XXL shirt and a Pondfest, both designs. So the black one, the shield one, and the sand one. 2 XXL shirts. Thank you, Brad Anderson. You spent $10.55 on USPS priority mail. We were at $49.90. If that order would have been $25 more, you would have got free freight. So actually, you could have picked a $25 item. You could have essentially got it for $14 because you wouldn't have paid any freight. Oh, well, you must not have wanted to do that. But yeah, if you're close to $75 on the site, push it to $75.
Anyway, your riders know their codes, and if they don't know their codes, you can ask them. They'll get it from me, and we can help make it happen. So if you have somebody that you specifically, maybe it's Mikey. Mikey would be a great person to hit up after his Pondfest, cameo Just having him here, everybody just lit. I mean, I lit up. It was just, we didn't expect him to be here. And
were you there when you weren't there?
No,
you were here at the house.
No, I was there. He's driving down in a truck and I see this big guy in a truck.
No, I mean, when he did the line.
No, but I'm just saying when he just showed up in Pagosa, we just didn't even know he was coming.
Yeah, that was cool.
So he just kind of rolled up. He didn't know he was coming.
Heath Pinter showed up on a Harley.
Yeah, no, it was sweet. But if you want to support them, I will. I'm going to hit up Mike again tomorrow and make sure that he's got it all set up with a link in his bio. Just keep your eye on that, and that he'd be an excellent one to definitely use his discount codes. For Fit and S&M. All of these guys have them for Fit and S&M, even if they are, on the other team. But anyway. Signing off. I have to make dinner, and he doesn't know how to do this. So, actually, you could probably figure that out. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to hit this red button right here that says End Stream. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Talk soon.